What's going on, everybody? Nelly Baxter Pokemon is back with another deck profile. This time, we are running expanded format for our Sunday showdown. We had some requests. One request was for a Turbo Darkrai deck. The other was for Turbo Turtles. And so Nelly and I built our own versions of these decks. I will be running Turbo Darkrai, although I gotta tell you right now, this is I guess I kind of call it a Turbo Darkrai hybrid, because there's several ways you can go about attacking with this deck. You can go the traditional energy acceleration if you want, and we can also play around with some special conditions. So that is what I'm running. Nelly will share her profile with you for Turtonator coming up, but this is going to be interesting, guys, because the Pokemon I have in here, you can go so many different directions, so I'll take it one direction at a time. We'll start out with the energy acceleration. So, your traditional Darkrai, EX for Dark Pulse for a DCE, although we don't use double colors, we use Dark Energy, because the more Dark Energy on the field, on your side of the field, the more damage you do. 20 plus 20 times the amount of energy on the field, or 20 more damage. So, that is kind of what we're going for in the beginning of the game with our Darkrai's. However, this is like a Darkrai box, if you will. Let me adjust the camera a little bit, guys. There we go. So there's our Darkrai's. We are running one. Yeah, the Darkrai Prism Star. The ability is pretty awesome. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you can actually attach 2 Dark Energy to it. The Abyssal Sleep kind of stinks for the 4 Dark Energy, but boy, if you can pull it off 120 and then your opponent's active Pokemon's asleep, and they actually have to flip 2 coins and both need to be heads in order for them to wake up. There is a reason we are including this Darkrai. Remember I said, go several directions with this particular deck. Now, that Darkrai puts people to sleep, and so does Hypno. Good night, babies! Once during your turn before you attack, you may leave both active Pokemon asleep. This sets up in the event that we want to use our little GX move. Yeah! And it helps to put our opponent to sleep, and we can attack them and hopefully get some free turns when they can't actually attack us, nor can they retreat. We're running 2 copies of Darkrai GX. The attack's not bad. Dark Cleave 130. It's not affected by resistance. Dead End, though. If we can put our opponent to sleep and then hit Dead End GX, we get an automatic KO. So, looking to put one of them Turtonators to sleep. Yeah. Alright. Now, here's the thing, is we have some draw support in our deck, so we are that's going to sit on our bench. 2 copies of Zorua for our 2 copies of Zoroark GX for the trade ability. Once during your turn, before you attack, discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. Riotous Beating for 2 energy, 20 times the amount of Pokemon you have in play. And Trickster GX. Hey, this Trickster GX isn't bad either. You get to steal any of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks. Now, I have played this deck several times online and have ended up using Zoroark as my main attacker and putting peeps to sleep. So, like I said, you can go several different directions with this deck. Now, we have 2 copies of the Lele. Even though this is expanded, it helps to get our supporters in a nip when we're stuck. Okay, and this is kind of my wild card for Pokemon. Necrozma, who's solely in there for his Blackray GX. 100 damage to each of your opponent's EX and GX Pokemon. I built this before I knew Nelly was running Turbo Turtles, so don't get on me and be like, you tailor-made this deck to hers. No, I didn't. So that's our Pokemon lineup. There's tons of different directions we can go. We can go for the Turbo Energy knockouts with our Darkrai EX. We can put people to sleep with our Prism Star and our Hypno, and use our Darkrai GX for the Dead End knockout. We got Zoroark with Trickster and Riotous Beating, and we have Necrozma for its Blackray GX. So it's cool because you can kind of see in your opponent's first turn really what deck they're playing, and then you can choose what direction you're going to go with it. So there's our Pokemon lineup. Now, our supporters. 3 copies of Professor Sycamore, 2 copies of N, a copy of Mallow since we've got trade going on our bench, and the fact that this is expanded, we got VS Seeker, so I can get that back. Pokemon Fan Club, we're not running Bridget because we need to get a combination of EX and regular basic Pokemon. This though, you can do all kinds of funky stuff. You got a Darkrai GX out there with 3 energy on it. You can Ninja Boy into your Necrozma and hit Blackray GX. If your Necrozma is stuck out there and you don't necessarily want to hit that GX move per se, you can flip out and go into your Darkrai. Hey, if that's not your choice, you want to go in the Darkrai Prism Star, sure. And also the Darkrai EX. Now here's the combo with Ninja Boy. This is why this deck is so lethal. We'll take the Prism Star and the Darkrai GX. You guys see where I'm going with this. Your Darkrai Prism Star is active. Your opponent is asleep. Ninja Boy into the GX. Dead End GX for a knockout. It's quick, it's sudden, it triggers your opponent. Okay, let's keep going with our supporters. 1 copy of Hexamaniac to shut down any abilities. I'm assuming with Turbo Turtles, Nanelli's probably going to have Volcanion, so maybe we can, a couple times in the game, we can shut it down. And then 2 copies, shut down Steam Up, 2 copies of Guzma. So you guys might be like, whoa, why not 3 or 4 copies? Remember, it's expanded, so I can get a lot of these supporters back via the VS Seeker. Speaking of VS Seeker, 4 copies of VS Seeker, get any supporter from a discard pile back into our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Secret rares like a boss. All right, 3 copies of Ultra Ball to find our Pokemon. This is mainly to find Hypno, because, yeah, we can't get our Prism Star out. We can sure as heck put people to sleep with Hypno, and we have ways of not putting ourselves to sleep. 3 copies of Ultra Ball. I'm only actually going to run 3 copies of Max Elixir, because don't really want to put all our eggs in one basket. We are running lots of basics, which is good. But there's so many different directions that you can go with this deck. You don't necessarily need energy acceleration to win the game, but it does help. So running 3 instead of 4. 1 copy of Super Rod to get our energy back and also to get our Pokemon. However, we definitely want to pump our discard with a little bit of energy and discard our Darkrai GXs because of the Ultra Ball. Use your Ultra Ball to discard an energy in your Darkrai and then use Restoration to put it right back on the bench, and you get a Pokemon out of it. Not bad, not bad. It helps us get our Lele's too. Rescue Stretcher, get our Pokemon back. 1 copy of Field Blower. I know, right? Only 1 copy, but quite frankly, I like the list the way it is. I've played several test plays online, so rarely did I really need the Field Blower. I was getting KOs anyway. 3 copies of Fighting Fury Belt to throw onto our Darkrai's, whether it's Prism Star, which goes from 160 to 200. Not bad for a 1 prize card. Darkrai EX, obviously, and Darkrai GX. So 3 copies of the Field Blower. You really don't want to attach this to Necrozma or Tapu Lele. Necrozma is really a wild card, guys. That's definitely one where you do not bench it at all. You actually Ninja Boy into it when there's enough damage out in the field and you just blast your opponent bad. 1 copy of Floatstone. Okay, how are we going to avoid putting ourselves to sleep if we have Hypno out on the bench? Also, by the way, I really wanted to run 2 copies of Hypno, but crazy enough, I didn't have 2 copies of Hypno. I checked in all of my bulk and everything. Only 1 for my master set of Breakpoint, so interesting. Anyway, this is how we avoided putting ourselves to sleep. Chaos Tower. We actually play it this way so that we can't be put to sleep or paralyzed. The other way is poisoned and confused. So we run this to avoid putting our own Pokemon to sleep. Notice it's 3 copies. And the last part is our energy count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 dark energy. We want to make sure we have enough energy to put out onto the field. This is, after all, as you guys asked for, Turbo Darkrai. So, yeah, we're running decent amount of energy, man. Decent amount of energy. I just love the flexibility of this deck and the mobility and the adaptability of it. It can adapt to a lot of different situations. Some bad matchups, though. Obviously, flipping Magneton or Magnezone, whatever, and Duskmane Necrozma is really annoying. That's a pretty tough matchup. So is anything that's my weakness. So Buzzwole, all that stuff. So yeah, this is definitely not one where you're like, oh, I'm gonna take this to an expanded tournament and win. No, this is just to have fun. So that is what I have. This is Baxter's version of Turbo Darkrai. Turbo Darkrai. Although I guess I could call it the Darkrai Hybrid or the Darkrai Box. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Those are the 3 types of Darkrai we run. Anyway, guys, 11 minutes. Sorry, it took a while. That's the deck I'm gonna take into battle. Sunday Showdown Expanded Edition against Nanelli's Turbo Turtles. We've been doing practice play, guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's tough. It is really tough. She got a good one, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Nanelli Baxter's Pokemon, for this Turbo Darkrai Hybrid, whatever deck. Have an awesome day. Later.